Evening and welcome to this week's edition of Hit the Bar, the Shrimps fans panel. Returning tonight, we have Dill and we have Mr. Paul Carter, and new face here is Jimmy. Jimmy, welcome to the panel tonight. I think we'll mix it up a bit because we've got so much to talk about, but two fantastic results since the last time we spoke. Crewe first, Paul. What do you reckon to that one? At 2-0 down, could you see us coming back?
2-0 down, there was people leaving. I know a couple of them that
Shame.
went back. Well, yeah, they went back down the pub. The way he turned it around, substitutions again. He's got a knack of making the substitutions at the right time, and they're coming off and working.
Yeah, I mean, I have to admit, 1-0, I thought we were still playing well. I thought in the first half we played some really good football. 2-0, I just thought, it's not going to be our day. We're still playing well, but it's not going to be our day. Could you see us getting back from that, Jimmy, or not?
No, I think at 2-0, yeah, you started to think, we backed off a little bit. So we started really high up the pitch, didn't we? We pressed the right back and left back, and Adams nicked it a few times, and it was beautiful to watch. But then all of a sudden we stepped off, and their number 5 centre half started playing like Prime Perlo. He was just playing it out from the back and looked like we were never going to get it. But then, as you say, Jed's tactical masterclass, and he absolutely changed it up, put someone on number 5, they couldn't get out, and then we just started to squeeze, let them have it, and then just hit him on the break. It was brilliant. Substitutions were perfectly timed.
Yeah. But again, it wasn't, it wasn't just about the attacking either. We had to throw bodies on the line. Then is that something that's impressed you, Dill? The attitude and the just never ever giving up.
Well, we knew we were going to need it, didn't we? We knew that it was always going to be tough. Wherever we go, these away games are always going to be very difficult, and just the bodies on the line, no matter what. Every game there seems to be someone throwing themselves in front of the ball, winning it back at the last ditch, and you just think, where's this come from? Because 5 minutes prior we were looking a bit sloppy, and they're not giving up, these lads, and it's going to take us places, to be honest.
It's good to see, they're all definitely playing for the manager, and the manager's doing his part. As Jimmy was saying, with tactical substitution, it's not just throwing like for like on it. It'll change it up, won't it? He watches the game and then changes it up.
Changes shape and formation, and one player will drop back, and somebody that he's brought on is going to go forward. And I don't know, it's just got a magical touch at the minute.
Good to watch.
Long hope it continues.
Yeah. Any particular players stand out? Let's talk about the Crewe game first, maybe, Jimmy. Any particular players stand out in that game for you as being crucial to the win?
It was a tale of a couple of thirds, I'd say. So Adams, to start with, was phenomenal. The amount of times he nicked that ball, and then he just wouldn't shoot, would he, for a while? Second half, he shoots, rebounds, we get the goal. He scores as well. So Adams, yeah, absolutely phenomenal. Senior has been my star player all season. I love the way he plays. It's that language style of like, I'm just going to saunter around. It's like a dressage canter. Yeah. And then next minute he's off. Wow. Unbelievable. Best player I've seen, but Ken Benny as well. Yeah. Absolutely superb. Rolls Royce of a player, the way he's playing the ball out. So a few of them, they all had their own little moments, didn't they, when they needed to. But I can't really say one player was particularly better than others. No, it seems to be a full unit.
And it is difficult to pick the man of the match a lot of the time. Yeah. I was saying just after the Grimsby game, I think it was, and I was just a little bit disappointed because I'd seen that in Kambeni and in Adams, and playing together in that middle, often with Songu there just guiding them a little bit. I was surprised they didn't dictate the play more in the Grimsby game, and we said that on here. And then the last two, they've looked a phenomenal partnership in midfield again, with Jan just giving them that little bit of experience and advice. You see that as something that can carry us forward into the latter half of latter portions of the season.
They both strike me as consistent players. We've seen that with Adams. He just, once he's on it, he's on it. There's been a few occasions where he's been below par, but I think once they've got the confidence and once they start to gel together, because they're still relatively new to playing with each other, aren't they? Yeah. And I think as that goes on, we'll just see it develop quite naturally and quite well. And Songo, even when he's not on the pitch, you tend to see him on the touchline warming up and he's shouting and screaming. And I think that's pivotal, to be honest. That's what we really need, an experienced head. If he's not on the pitch, somebody has to be there at eyes view, just commanding, really. And I think, because they're younger lads, aren't they? Well, especially Adams, he he's not had the minutes, and to have someone there in his ear to push him on, I think it's really working for us.
Yeah, it's like a trust thing, isn't it? It's like they're starting to trust each other, so Adams will go out and maybe press the left back or right back.
And know that he's getting
Same with
covered.
Guion and that, and the trusting that the others are coming behind him. It seems to be working quite
A
nicely.
slew ball for the first goal as well at Crewe.
Yeah.
For down the line for Melbourne, that was just exquisite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
And you know, we've liked Jordan, we've mentioned him before in this, but he's really come into it in that sort of impact sub role. I know it's one that no player likes to have because they think if you call the super sub, you're never going to get a start, and they all want to start games. But he's really
Well,
impressive in that, isn't
it seems to suit him. As players are getting tired of bringing him and going on.
he? Yeah.
And running at him and no.
And that's another thing with Senior as well. He doesn't necessarily make those runs early on in the game.
Doesn't
You know, he'll maybe pass it along the line to Charlie Brown or Guion or whoever's there, but as he's fit and he's quick, and as it gets late, he chooses his moments, doesn't he?
Because it's like it's like tactically we're enticing their left back in, and then once he comes into face like an Adams or someone in the middle, leaves that space and he just sees it and he accelerates, doesn't he? It's
And then the low hard cross,
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
right,
which we're
yeah.
benefiting from.
Yeah, we are.
Well,
Well, Slew's
sure,
benefiting
last
from it.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Because if the first one doesn't get it, he gets it in the back, doesn't he? Different game, wasn't it, last night? A different game against Crawley. Not quite as sort of open, I would say. I think they cancelled themselves out a bit, but we had to show different qualities there, didn't we, Dylan? And we did, and we still came through it.
I think it's important, isn't it, to have these narrow games every so often, because it keeps you switched on. That could have gone anywhere. It could have been a loss to us, to be honest. And I think if you're just steamrolling people, or not so much scoring 3 or 4 goals every game, but if it's too easy every game, then when it gets tough, you're just going to switch off and you're just going to become complacent. You see it in the Premier League with the bigger teams higher up the pyramid. They know they're going to win. They switch off and then they have a shock result. But we need to stay switched on, especially if we are going to, as we say, go for the playoffs.
Yeah. How did you see it on Tuesday night? Two decent teams cancelling each other out, or
and I thought if they'd have had the shooting boots on, we could have quite easily have lost that 3-0.
Yeah.
Because I thought they've had three or four great chances. The save that Mares
towards the end of the first half.
Thought that was him.
Yeah.
Sort of crawled it from behind him by the look of it.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, there's been a lot of that, haven't there? Bodies on the line, and you need to have that as well as we've talked about the attacking play and the good quality midfield skills, but you need to have all that kind of determination.
You do. There was 2 points last night. In fact, there was a bit where the ball came in and the striker's getting it at the near post, and he volleys Rawson's head. And Rawson dives in and sticks his head in front of his boot, which is phenomenal. And then there was another bit. Slew lost the ball in the halfway. Their right back is into the box, and Guion Edwards comes from the other side of the pitch. He's run 40 yards at full speed and straight across him. It was
That's a winger.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, unbelievable. All of them, bodies on the line, isn't it? It's fantastic.
Great to see.
Yeah.
And I mean, we were talking just a bit earlier about contract extensions. Charlie Brown's really stepped up, hasn't he? I think he's earned that. You know, I think earlier in the season, bit part player, not really getting his chance, and he's taken it, hasn't he? And I don't think there's anybody who's seen that contract extension and thought, why are we doing that? He's really deserved it. Have you been impressed with him, Dill?
I thought when we saw him earlier on in the season, I thought there was definitely a player in there, but for some reason, I don't know what it was. He just wouldn't get the minutes no matter what. He wasn't being brought on. He wasn't being given a chance, and now he has, and it suited him really well. And he's took it on, and I'm very happy to see him have an extension. I was surprised. I was shocked, but I was very, very happy to see that. I'm sure most people are too.
Who do we want to see now?
Well, Senior, obviously. But on Charlie, you couldn't drop Mellon to play him.
No.
Yeah.
And I think they're very similar players.
Yeah.
And you couldn't drop Mellon at the start of the season, but now, Senior for me.
Yeah, I suppose it's a style of play thing as well. We've slightly changed that. We used to drill the ball up to Mellon, who would then hold it up, whereas now we kind of invite teams on and we counter quickly. So it maybe plays into Charlie's strengths of being pacey. But
And the width thing as well.
Yeah.
He's a good understanding receipt on that right hand side. Who do you want to see as if there's an announcement this week before the Wrexham game, Anybody you'd like to see?
Senior and Guion as well. I think Guion's got potential to play at that next sort of level, so he's got some value there as well, hasn't he? So, yeah, definitely Guion for me.
I mean, there's half a dozen for me, but
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about Ken Benny. If Bolton get promoted,
Mhm.
are they going to drag him back? They might do. They might have seen enough in him at Morecambe to think we'll just keep hold of him a bit. There's a player there, which I think we can probably say is going to be the case with Joe Adams. Do you think that's going to be right, Dill?
Yeah, unfortunately, we'll do well to keep him, but there's always that chance. We spoke about it at the forum that there's the option to extend that for a year for next season.
Another year loan, you mean?
Yeah. And I think if he's enjoying it here and they've not got plans to play him or send him out elsewhere, if we do by the end of the season, we do get the playoffs, we might not make it, but if they see that we're going to be competitive, they might think, we'll send him out there again for another year.
Because we do play them, don't we? They're not coming here and sitting on the bench like they do at a lot of places, and that must stand us in good stead with that.
Yeah.
Let's not forget JJ as well. Let's hopefully get him back soon, because imagine him in that midfield as well. Wow. Exciting.
And again, a completely different element to what we've got, to be honest.
Yeah.
That sort of, I don't know, like the modern day, what they call number 10 going through,
Yeah.
but that if we can get him fit for the very last part of the season, even, you never know. My mate's saying
Could be the
playoffs
push.
all the way.
Yeah.
We'll
Absolutely.
stop at playoffs.
Yeah,
We're only 12 points off top.
get out. Steady tiger. Now, this is the last chance we've got really to mention the march of support that we're having on Saturday before the Wrexham game. Paul, any developments on that?
It's just,
Joe,
as we
what
said, we want as many people to meet at Eric Morecambe for 11 o'clock. Trust chairman's going to say a few words. You don't have to be a trust member.
Right.
Just a Morecambe fan, anybody who wants good for the club. Chairman will say a few words. The trust's bought 60 for sale signs, so people don't need to make their own signs up. We've got all them covered. We just want as many people there as possible. We'll walk along the prom, and then up Regent Road on the left-hand side. We've had a recce. That's the best side to walk up.
Yeah.
It's going to be marshalled.
Yeah.
We've got marshals.
And people can join it at any point, or
people
say
can join up at any time. I know
if they're not
some people
capable of
can't do it all.
walking.
Yeah. They're welcome to join up at any time along the way.
So that's going to be the route from
Yeah.
Eric Morecambe right down the front
Onto the prom and then
Regent
straight up Regent Road.
Okay.
And then it'll end between Globe Drive and the Hurley Flyer.
Yeah.
There'll be a van there to collect all the signs off everybody, and then people are hopefully by 1 o'clock.
And
people are,
you were saying something earlier, because one or two had expressed a bit of concern about it starting very near where there's going to be maybe a couple of hundred Wrexham fans in a pub.
we've contacted the Wrexham Trust and the fans pages and things like that, and we've expressed it's a peaceful march. If they see hopefully 200-300 Morecambe fans walking up the road, it's not a mob looking for trouble. It's a perfectly peaceful march. We're not after any aggravation.
And they've had the
And
experience
they
themselves,
know
haven't
that.
they?
We've had a few of them have said they'll come and join us.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes.
Do we know about publicity yet? Do we know if there's
It's
any
been
interest?
on. I think it's been on ITV. I know James has done 2 interviews yesterday.
Right.
One with BBC and Beyond, and it's been all news outlets have been contacted.
Brilliant. And the game itself, I mean, we got a good hiding down there. Although we started off quite lively even in that game. We don't want a repeat of that, of course, but do you think we'll approach it in the same manner, in sort of going for it, or a bit more cagey? How do you see it?
Well, I think it's playing into our hands. We seem to be better against better teams, so they can have the ball, and then we're going to hit you on the break. So who's going to score 2?
There you go. What about you, Dill? Confident for Saturday?
Yeah, more so now. They're not doing too well away from home, actually, in recent times. So, and like you said, we do a bit of damage to the bigger teams who we expect to just walk away with nothing. So I'm confident. I don't think it's going to be like easy, but I expect a good game. Yeah. Looking forward to
I
it.
mean, I've given over predicting because when we sort of say nothing down for us, I honestly last night I couldn't see it because they didn't have a game on Saturday. We had a really, really tough game on Saturday,
Yeah.
and I thought we'd feel it in our legs. And there may have been some of that, but we didn't see it, did we? The attitude was fantastic again.
we're a totally different team as well to the one we played.
Yeah,
when we
yeah,
played at their
good
place.
point. Yeah,
Jed's
in attitude and
Yeah,
in personnel, innit? Yeah.
Jed's had time with the team now. What, 48 hours beforehand
Yeah.
before the game.
Are we going to give predictions for Saturday or not? 2-1. 2-1 us.
Yeah.
Go on.
We'll go 1-0 down, win 3-2. Yeah.
I'm going to keep it at 2-1. I'm not going to get ahead of myself today. I'm just gonna,
I'll give a cautious 2 apiece and a good game and no bother. And from one of the lower crowds of the season on Tuesday to, I think,
We
definitely
say
the
that,
biggest
I know,
crowd.
2,900 for a Tuesday night game.
It's still not bad when
3 or 4 years ago,
Oh,
we'd have been happy with that.
Absolutely, and that just shows the progress that we're making. Even though we've been relegated, the fan base is much better now, isn't it? And solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And loud.
And loud, yeah, it was great last night.
Yeah.
I mean, it took a bit to get going, but once it did, it was really good. And I think the players responded to that last night.
They do. They pick up as soon as that halo gets going. Extra 10% there.
Yeah. Let's have plenty of that on Saturday. Up the Shrimps. Wrexham are coming. We're not scared. We're going to give you a good game. Come on, Morecambe!